Hi everyone, pardon me, I've got a bad cold. But wow, ASAP Rocky, not guilty on all charges. A lot of people were very concerned that this partner of Rihanna was going to go to prison and that he was going to face up to 24 years imprisonment. He refused the bargain deal, and a lot of people just thought that he was really stupid. I thought it was the right thing to do. Like sometimes, because I'm a lawyer, people come to you and people say, listen, this is based on principle. Like, I'm ready to lose money, lose time, lose fame, lose everything, lose my liberty if I can prove that I am innocent. Sometimes it's not a good thing when you think, oh, I'm just going to forget about what my lawyer has said and I would, go for a full trial, because who knows, the jury might come against you. They might decide you're guilty when you're not. There's always an inherent risk with litigation. So sometimes it's good to take a plea bargain. But for many people, it's the principle. If I haven't done something, why should I say that I have done it? And for ASAP Rocky, there was so much at stake for Rihanna as well. I think she would have been known as that person who had an issue with Chris Brown, and then her, so-called partner went to prison. So I think, somewhere, somehow, he was like, I'm going to stand on the principle that I am innocent and I am going to go for a full trial. So it has paid off. He is pronounced not guilty. It means that he can carry on with his campaigns. Many of those sponsors who would have sponsored him, like Gucci and the rest, would have dropped him like a hot potato if he was pronounced guilty. But because he's been pronounced not guilty, he can carry on, doing his stuff, just like Amber and Amber's husband at the time when he was not able to get very good deals. I'm talking about Johnny Depp now, and he was very worried and he wanted the whole world to know that he was innocent of what he had been accused of. Now, I'm looking at some very alarming contradictions in the ASAP Rocky shooting case. First of all, there was no flash from the gun on any tape. So there was no documentary evidence as to a flash coming out of the tape. Of a flash coming out of the gun, rather. And so that was one issue. Like, you saw like a little video, a short video played out in court where you could see the two ASAPs, because both victim and the accuser are ASAPs. So both ASAPs, which some people say it's ASAP, whatever it is that they called, both ASAPs were arguing and there was like a physical scuffle, but you couldn't see any flash on a gun. So there was an issue as to whether it was a real gun or it was a prop gun. Now, another alarming contradiction was the fact that the police, the cops as they call them in the States, had said that 3 people had disappeared from the scene when they arrested ASAP. That's the ASAP, the Rihanna's ASAP, over 5 months, almost 6 months after the alleged supposed crime had taken place, which means that they did not have any video evidence at all at the time of ASAP's arrest. And it just meant that the other ASAP, who we will call the supposed victim, who is now the liar, who was said to have committed so much perjury in court, was lying. Another alarming contradiction was the fact that when the police, went to the scene of the supposed crime, they found no bullet casings. 7 detectives had searched for bullet casings. I'm sure they searched for gunpowder, whatever it is that they search for when, a shot is fired. But there was nothing. But this supposed ASAP, who is the victim, the alleged victim, who is now a liar, went back to the scene of the crime and then came back with casings. He said he had an untreated gunshot wound on his hand. It's ridiculous. In fact, the supposed victim, ASAP, flew 6 hours to New York to see a doctor concerning what he says was a bullet wound on his hand. I mean, if you have a bullet wound, would you fly 6 hours to go and get treatment? You will be screaming and shouting to anyone who is passing by, I think I'm dying, come help me. Anyway, so this was 6 hours, a 6-hour journey to New York, days after he said he was shot. So what was he doing with that hand for many days before he went to New York? ASAP, the victim, says that about 3 or 4 shots were fired, not too short. It was just so inconsistent. There was too much. A lot of people were thinking that because Rihanna came, to the courts, that swayed the jury. Sometimes that kind of influence can sway jury. I mean, the more money you have, who knows who listens to Under My Umbrella, or which jury listens to Under My Umbrella, and if the judge actually dances to that song. But sometimes, even when, you're so popular, it can actually backfire, because people can look at you as that rich person who is not, real. You don't understand the real world, and well, you should go to prison and let's see how you're going to survive there. But when you look at this case from start to finish, I think it was just the right verdict. What do you think? I don't know if I said this before, but I now have a cold. I know that I've been running away from a cold, but I do have a cold now, and I hope that you can talk about this case in the comment section there. I wish I could report more on it. It was just such a beautiful case to watch. I didn't watch all of it. I went in and out, but I'm just happy for Rihanna. I'm happy for their children, and I hope that whatever it is that is not going well in their lives, they can sort it out. I think this would have just been too much for Rihanna. One, we had the Chris Brown, or she had the Chris Brown issue, and then the father of her children, going to prison. I like the way that she came to the court. I like that she was well dressed. I like the way that, she kept a straight face. It wasn't about her. It was about, her and her children coming to support ASAP Rocky, and the fact that she wasn't trying to give a statement or all of that. She respected the due process of the law, and it's paid off. So all the best to them. This is sad that two ASAPs have fallen off, and you might not know, but the problems that the two ASAPs had was because another crew member, they used to be in some kind of music group, he had passed, and apparently the other ASAP, the victim, was not happy about what Rihanna's ASAP had done or not done when the other ASAP died. Well, they're all ASAPs. I hope it makes sense. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and share, and let's talk more about this case. I'll be happy to talk more. Bye now, and leave your comments. Bye bye. Do you think, even though this is not about race, the fact that a lot of people thought that this was going to be about race because the jury were all white is something that we need to think about. I'm just so glad that justice was served, and the fact that Rihanna's children, I mean, it could be anyone's children, but the fact that two boys, let's start with boys before we say black boys, father is not going to be going to prison for up to 24 years for something he did not do. It's something that we really need to be glad about. A lot is changing, and we're just glad for justice. Bye for now. Subscribe.